1,500 games on that touchline. Do you ever get fed up with it?
No, not really. I think the hotels... I get fed up with air conditioning in hotels and also the motorways. I think the motorways are the worst.
Because a lot of people, a lot of managers say the best thing is in the week, and then the worst thing is actually the match day. But you seem to relish it.
Yeah, I understand what they're saying. I think my Saturday morning's probably the worst part of the week, you know. A couple of hours before the game. Once the whistle goes, I'm OK. But, you know, the nerves never stop. Your stomach churns and, you know, you never lose that, really, do you? You don't lose that. If you lost that, you know, and you woke up and everything was right, you'd think you're in the wrong game. I don't know what, you know, to replicate that when I do call it a day. It's difficult to know what, you know what I mean? Because when you get the results like we've had and at the end of the fans, it's unbelievable when that whistle goes and you've got a good result. And, you can't really replicate that. It's an amazing thing.
So it's not next year we're going to see you in the jungle, then? Maybe the year
The lads put my face on Harry. Put it up on the notice board. Are you next, Gaffer? You know.
And it was Strictly as well. You've been offered Strictly too now.
Oh, that was a few years ago. Thank goodness I didn't take that on. I mean, that's a long time ago when I left Sheffield United.
Yeah.
Yeah. And but I mean, my kids just say, "Oh, Dad, thank goodness." It's because you don't mind going on something like that if nobody's danced. But some of these people now that's winning it, and they've had dancing, you know, you can't tell me they haven't had lessons and things or done a lot of dancing. It's a bit of a fiddle now, isn't it?
Yeah, someone close to me has had dancing lessons as well.
Yeah. I mean, look, the reality is that a few years ago you were talking about maybe it was time to step down, but you're back in the Premier League. The Cardiff fans are loving it. The players are loving it. I mean, if we look at the bottom half of the table as well, Neil, I'm sure that it's...
You'd have taken this, wouldn't you?
Absolutely, yeah. I wish it was the end of the season. Picture, how many games have we got left? 21.
Yeah. And then the last 9 games. I mean, it's been a good couple of months, hasn't it?
Well, we've played the top 11 teams now. You know, so you know, we have got to win the home game. I mean, the home games have been vital for us, really. With the fans, it's a great place to play at the minute at home. We're looking forward next week, sell out Manchester United, you know.
We've had a tweet from Mike saying, why do we seem to be a completely different team away from home?
Tell him to send me information in. I don't know, do I?
But that must be frustrating for you, because you can see the team playing at home. Is it because it's at home, and then you want them to go and replicate that away? Yeah. Is it something you've come to...
I think the away from home, you know, you're up against 20, 30, 40, 50,000 fans, and that makes a difference, I think, as well. You know, but I do think we've got it in us to get results away from home. But we have learned, we've got better as the season's gone on. It's just that I think we just need a little bit more quality if we can, you know, to change things around, change systems, etc.
Well, let's have a look at the lineup, because this is the lineup that you've got, and sort of people that might not know will get a sense of the cost of the team. There's sort of reported transfer fees. Not all of those will be accurate, of course, but £25 million is the team, and that's, you know, that's average compared to the rest of the Premier League. Average cost per player, it's quite glaring, the difference. Manchester City's average player is 41 million and yours is 3.3 million. But you're still supposed to be competing in the same playing field, as it were.
The thing is, if you look, even if you look above us, look, Burnley, Huddersfield, Newcastle, what they've done is they've invested every time they've stayed up. Yeah. And that's what you've got to do, haven't you? You've got to invest as you stay up, because you can't stay up without investment, really. And, you know, unless you're a Wolves, you know, that bring the manager and the players in from Portugal like they have, you know, the agents brought them in, haven't they? You know, you're all about your squad, really. We've got 25-man squad. A lot of the top teams have got under 23s in their squad that don't count, you know, which is international 23s.
One of the things that you've done this year is you've converted Callum Paterson to be the main man, from a defender up to a striker. Yeah. How did that come about? What was...
Well, I mean, I already knew. I spoke to him when I first signed him, you know. I knew that he was a right wing-back type of player. Mick Jones went to watch somebody else for me, and he said, I've got a guy for you, Neil. He said, this Paterson, you'll love him. He don't know, he's got energy and all. So we signed him, and he wasn't fit for 5 months because he was injured. Right. Chairman went in, I said to Vincent, can I sign somebody for 350 grand, Vincent? He's not going to be fit till November. I thought he thought I was in cuckoo land. But in fairness, he's done well. he can't defend as such as a back four at this level. Not for me. And we put him in midfield last year behind, and he scored goals. He's got an eye for goals wherever he is, and that midfield was great. And then here, he's always around looking at goals. You know, he scored a good one at Liverpool. This one here, it's a poacher's goal. You know, and he's just a genuine kid. He's as good as anybody in the air that I've had, and you know, he's improving all the time. So. You know, he answers the question. He don't give up here. You know, a lot of people would have stood still there. Yeah. But he you know, he don't give it up.
But not only have you got him to play up there, you've got him to play up there on his own.
Yeah, we try and get people supporting him as much as we can with him. But he's got so much energy that he can do that job. You know, and it is a hard job, isn't it? You see a lot of teams playing 4-3-3 now, don't you? And that role up front is a difficult job.
So the one thing I was pleased about him, Neil, because you don't see it very often now. Well, you see it at Watford. He backs into centre halves and he makes it uncomfortable for them. And there's loads that don't do that.
No, they don't. I mean, I said to him about Mitrovic at Fulham. You know, he's the best at that, really.
Yeah.
Be nasty, be a bit like him, Pat. Have a look at his videos and see what he does, because you know you're up against these big lads every week, and he's learnt on that. He's a little bit cuter, isn't he? You know, a little bit cuter, and that's what you've got to be.
Are you in the market for a striker in January? Do you think, Neil? Is that something you'd like?
Yeah. We're looking at 2 or 3 positions, and we've made offers for strikers, but it's not as simple as that. You know, not only is the offers you've got to accept, but are they better than what you've got at January? You know, are the teams going to let good players go in January? And we're not at the market where we can go and spend anything, you know, like the top half of the Premier League. We've got a certain market, and we've got to try and get the best out of what...
Tends to be more expensive in January as well, because everybody is aware when they're selling to someone in January, there's a more urgent need.
I don't think we'll be spending silly money now. Well, I know we won't. You know, we're looking at loans as well. Because they don't want to go down that line, really. I think, you know, if the player's available and we can get him, you know, Mehmet's, my chairman, Mehmet, he's been working hard to bring a striker in. He knows how difficult it is now, because it is a bad time to try and get one in. But they've always been supportive. But for me, if they're not better than what we are, or if it's ridiculous money, I'd rather stick with what we've got. I know it sounds silly, but I'd rather stick with what we've got, because we've got a great group.
Yeah.